Hi, it's Phil Needham with Needham Ag Technologies, and this video is designed to answer the question that we often get from customers: what is the difference, or what are the differences between a rotary mower on the left hand side and a flail mulcher or a flail mower, and it's a flail mulcher on the right hand side? What are the differences between the one on the left and the one on the right? So hopefully this video will help address it. So the flail mulcher on the right hand side, and during this video I'm going to show you some comparisons, because today I put about 8 hours on this 50p, the Deere 50p on the right hand side, and about half of that time I was running a flail mulcher like the orange one here, made by Leaper, but a wider one, and the other time I was running this rotary mower. And I ran them in the same areas side by side, not at the same time, but they were on the same machine a few hours apart. And I've got video that I'm going to add to this video, footage to add to this video, which will show you what I was seeing today. So firstly, the flail mulchers mulch material, that's kind of their name. They've got mulching teeth and they're reversible. So after about 250 hours or 300 hours roughly, unless you got rocks, if you got rocks it'll shorten the life proportionately, but after about 250 or 300 hours you can loosen and remove this nut. The head of the bolt is countersunk into this hex socket, so you can remove the bolt, rotate the flail, put the bolt back through, the nut back on it again, and you can get about another 250 or 300 hours, okay? So this flail mulcher has the hydraulic front door. So as long as you've got an excavator with a second auxiliary service like this Kubota has, then you can raise and lower the front door hydraulically while you're mulching. The good thing about raising the front door is you can cut the top off a tree by allowing the teeth to eat through the tree. Then you can drop the front door down to control the flying debris, and these stationary knives on the front and on the back significantly improve mulching. So this is going to mulch material into fine material, and that's often what people want, is finely mulched material. The other big benefit of these flail mulchers, and I'm going to get somewhere down to ground level, which I think is about here, they're designed to work within about a ½ inch of the ground. So if you've got any material close to the soil surface, it's going to mulch that material, and it discharges it almost straight down. As long as the front door's down, almost all of the material goes down because it's mulched. And if there's anything going forwards or backwards, again, the stationary chains, 2 sets of chains on the front and back, help control almost all of the flying debris. So it's a pretty safe option, especially if you're mulching near people, roads, houses, animals, any of the above. By comparison, this is a rotary mower, and I'm not picking on brands, this is just one that we use today. Full disclosure, the blades are not new. It's got about 50 hours of use on it. I did grind a sharper edge, to be fair to it, this morning, so it's got a reasonably good edge on it. So here are some of my observations. So number one, the tip of these flails, if you want to call them flails or blades, are about 3 inches, at least 3 inches higher than the bottom of the skids. So your cut height on this brand is at least 3 inches, meaning you have to run this rotary mower with the skids on the ground to get down to as close as 3 inches. So if any of that material is laid down on the ground, it's been driven on, let's say, or laid over with a big rain, it's not going to pick it up. If you got any material on the soil surface, like tree limbs that are less than 3 inches in diameter, it's probably not going to pick them up unless there's a ridge between the 2 side skids, or the wood's got a little elbow in it and it raises up above the ground, because 3 inches is about the minimum cut height for this rotary mower. The other thing is the tips of the blades don't make it all the way to the skids on both ends. So I've seen material lodged, not cut, lodged at the end of the rotating blades inside the skids on the end, not going anywhere at all, which is pretty odd. So the big thing that the rotary mowers don't do, they do cut. If you want capacity, if you don't care about what it looks like, the rotary mower give you good mowing capacity, good speed, because all they do is cut it and discharge it. We'll come to the discharge speeds in just a minute. But a lot of grass and materials that I cut today, all it does is cut it and leaves a windrow of the material on that far corner. So it doesn't spread it out, it doesn't mulch it up. Now I put a tack on this morning, and at 20 gallons of flow per minute on this 50p, the RPM of the rotor is almost 1500 RPM. Measuring a 42-inch diameter rotor, that equals around 180 miles an hour tip speed on the end of these flails. 180 miles an hour, which means there are all kinds of projectiles. If you're mulching a tree that's 10 foot, 12 foot off the ground, and you start at the top and mulch downwards, it slings projectiles in both directions. A lot of them go out that far corner, but it flat throws material. So if you've got people, houses, roads, animals within, I'm going to say 200 or 300 feet, this is a liability and a bad one. I hope the manufacturers carry good liability insurance. It does say keep hands and feet clear in multiple places, but there's nothing about standing back 200 or 300 feet, because again, that is a big problem. And a lot of people that buy flail mowers and flail mulchers from us, they get rid of the rotary mowers because of the projectiles being thrown, and that's not good at all. So these are some observations with regards to the rotary mower. The only other one is if you're mulching close to guy wires near utility poles like I was today, you sure can't get very close to the guy wires because of the blade extending out of the housing. And I'm sure that's by design, so you can chop the top off a taller tree and mulch downwards, but you really can't get close to guy wires for risk of hitting the guy wires. The manufacturer of this particular machine claims a 4-inch diameter cut width. I found it struggled today with 4-inch hardwood, really struggled. It's slow in hardwood at 3 to 4 inches. Anyway, maybe if you're really slow, you might get 4 inches. Softwood, it's fine, it mulches 4 inches very easy. But I'm going to say it struggles with 3-inch hardwood, let alone 4-inch. Compared to the flail mulchers, which have a lot more mulching teeth, this one's going to mulch a greater diameter of material with the same hydraulic flow on the same machine. It's going to mulch it better, it's going to discharge it uniformly. So if you've got a pond or a yard and you want good mulch quality, then a flail mower or a flail mulcher is going to do a much better job. The only big difference between a flail mower and a flail mulcher, the flail mower has a roller on the back, and it can be equipped with what we call an oscillating carriage, as shown here, which allows the mower to float along the ground on the rear roller. The Deere 50P doesn't have a lot of slewing torque. I found that today. If you're close to fully extended, and you have to run this rotary mower on the ground to get close to the ground, then the skids are digging in the ground and there's a lot of friction under the skids, and the 50P doesn't have a lot of slewing torque, so you're constantly lifting it up if it's close to the ground, because the relief valves just pop off and it quits rotating, so you have to lift it up to allow it to slew again when you're fully extended with the mower turning. So that's just a few basic observations comparing the rotary mowers like these to the flail mulchers. And I'm not picking on different brands. I think the principles of a rotary mower are not specific to this brand. So I'm not picking on this brand, I'm just picking on the principles. So thanks for watching. That's hopefully some good information comparing rotary mowers like the one on the left to the flail mulchers and the flail mowers. Thanks for watching.